The BJP wishes to draw your attention on an issue which may not sound new, but because it sounds and it is happening continuously, we thought it is time for us to draw your attention. We all know the Congress party has been repeatedly misusing the CBI. We have repeatedly also highlighted the various types of misuse of CBI. CBI for targeting political opponents who can be strong enough to stand up and ask questions. And in that category, we belonging to the BJP will highlight the misuse of CBI in targeting Shri Amit Shah, in targeting Shri Narendra Modi, in targeting Rajendra Rathore, in targeting Gulab Chand Kataria ji. So you have those political opponents who are strong enough to face and challenge the Congress. The CBI is misused. CBI is also misused when they want the support of smaller parties. You see the Samajwadi Party and the BSP being repeatedly, facing the target in the court, changed affidavits, and then again the affidavits language is changed when the support is necessary, but after the support is obtained, again the oppression from the court and the CBI, oppression from the CBI is unleashed. You see that also happening when the support is required in Parliament. A third kind of misuse of the CBI is when they want to protect their own, like the way in which Shri Ashwini Kumar, the former law minister, has been pulled up by the court when he was trying to interfere with the CBI's affidavit, which was expected to be filed in the court. So the CBI is being misused in three different ways: to oppress, attack, target opposition, or to seek support from smaller or regional parties, and to protect their own, which is itself worrying. Misuse in all these three categories is itself worrying. But now we want to draw your attention on the repeated misuse of even IB. The Intelligence Bureau, the IB, is actually mandated to work to protect the security infrastructure of the country, security framework of the country. They are essentially working, and one of the inherent principle of their working includes secrecy, includes information sharing, includes information sharing with state governments and state police. So IB, which is mandated to make sure that the intelligence framework, the security framework of the country is kept intact so that the national security is not adversely affected, and whose job inherently by very nature of the work involves a high degree of secrecy, is also being misused, particularly as and when there is a change in the Home Minister. As and when, with the change in the Home Minister, the government, particularly the Congress-led UPA's approach to tackling terror or terror-related issues keeps changing. And this flip-flop in the using of IB or making IB responsible for certain inputs has definitely compromised with national security. I take the example of Ishrat Jahan case, which in 2004, 15th June, if I remember the date correct, on the basis of information sharing from IB, the Gujarat police act on it in order to make sure that security threats are tackled. The role of IB And in that, the role of the central government cannot be denied. And in the role, in general, of the IB, the role of the union government is priority, is critical, is crucial. And therefore, when you're talking about IB sharing information with states and states acting thereupon on them in order to keep the national security priorities high, there is a high degree of information sharing of information which are normally kept under the wraps in order that the security, infrastructure, the framework is not shaken up. We see the flip-flop and using the IB, misusing the IB, the flip-flop, resulting in changing of positions in the court, in the affidavits which are being submitted. Even in 2009, somebody who was still being claimed as a fidayin, a suicide bombing type jihadi, who the Lashkar-e-Toiba put on their website with sense of pride as, yes, there is a Lashkar in Ishrat, which of course, after 3 full years, they themselves withdrew, saying it was a journalistic mistake. In 2010, you have David Headley also implicating Ishrat Jahan as a Lashkar. The NIA comes out to say, no, these media reports are wrong, and the affidavit is changed. Although the affidavit's narrative still kept calling her as a terrorist, you had a supplementary appendix which said, the LET has disclaimed the claim earlier said that she was a terrorist, they have withdrawn the statement. And in the process, now that CBI is investigating into the matter, a CBI inspector is summoning and questioning the prosecutive authorities who on the IB's information are acting, and IB is going to be questioned on the intelligence sharing and also on the facts that they share with states about the national security matters are being questioned by, let's say, an authorized inspector of the CBI. And therefore, there is a risk. I'm not saying it's going to happen. There is a risk that information about intelligence related to the country's national security is going to be used, and sometimes it runs the risk of indiscriminate criticism. Indiscriminate criticism of matters which are very critical to national security. The BJP sees that this misuse of IB for short-term political gains for the Congress is going to expose and result in exposing the national security framework itself. The BJP cautions here, I underline, the BJP cautions here the misuse of IB, which are now, this is not new. Let me take the example earlier also. The IB has been misused for spying on political opponents, for phone tapping on political opponents. And if I remember correct, I'm taking a random set of names which have no particular order otherwise. Gyani Jail Singh also was been followed by IB. Menaka Gandhi, the MP, was also been followed by the IB. And therefore, the misuse of IB is not new. But the Congress has repeatedly done it, but with the CBI they've done it far more number of times than they have done with IB. But now the way in which they're doing it, compromising the national security itself because of the flip-flop on who a terrorist is and who is not a terrorist, what is the information sharing, how the IB is sharing information with state police, and why the state police, when they act on certain things for preventing terror, are getting isolated saying it's your mistake, it's not the mistake of anybody from the center, when IB's functions are very critically connected with the central government. The flip-flop for political gains is ending up exposing our national security framework itself. The Congress should refrain from doing this in the interest of the country. This is misuse of IB for short-term political gains, but eventually it is resulting in exposing the country's national security framework itself. We thought it is time appropriate to speak about it so that there is a greater awareness through the media on this matter, because eventually I think all of us will have to put the nation first. That was one of the issues. Sorry. इसका मैंने थोड़ा सा हिंदी में बोलूंगी, मगर प्रॉब्ली इतनी विस्तार से बोल नहीं पाऊंगी. आप सबको मालूम है कि सीबीआई का दुरुपयोग होती है कांग्रेस की सरकार के द्वारा, और उसमें 3 टाइप्स मैंने जिक्र किया है. जहां पहले टाइप में पॉलिटिकल ओपोनेंट्स को कंट्रोल करने के लिए सीबीआई को दुरुपयोग करती है कांग्रेस, और उसमें मैंने उदाहरण ली अमित शाह जी का, नरेंद्र मोदी जी का, राजेंद्र राठौर जी का राजस्थान से, और गुलाब चंद कटारिया जी का नाम भी ली उदाहरण के नाते. और दूसरे टाइप का सीबीआई का दुरुपयोग जो होती है, जब समर्थन पार्लियामेंट में उनको चाहिए, छोटे और रीजनल पार्टीज का समर्थन चाहिए, उनको सीबीआई के द्वारा हरास करके उनके सपोर्ट लेती है कांग्रेस, जैसे समाजवादी पार्टी हो, बीएसपी हो और बाकी सब. और तीसरी टाइप का मिसयूज के विवरण मैंने दे रही थी, जैसे अश्विनी कुमार जी का सुप्रीम कोर्ट से एक बार पुल अप किया गया, जब कोलगेट के मामले में शायद पीएम को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए और उस इरादे से सीबीआई के जो एफिडेविट हलफनामा जो कोर्ट में दाखिल करना था, उसमें अमेंडमेंट करते हुए सुप्रीम कोर्ट में इससे भी डांट पड़ा. इसीलिए सीबीआई का दुरुपयोग के बारे में तो आपको मालूम है, हम सबको भी मालूम है, बार बार जिक्र करते आ रहे हैं. मगर हम आज इस विषय के ऊपर कॉशन देना चाहते हैं कि राजनीतिक उपलब्धियों के लिए सीबीआई को दुरुपयोग करना तो मालूम है, आईबी का दुरुपयोग भी हो रही है. वो खतरनाक खेल है, क्योंकि हमारी राष्ट्र सुरक्षा के लिए आईबी जो काम करता है, इंटेलिजेंस इंफॉर्मेशन जो गैदर करता है, और जहां जरूरत पड़े स्टेट पुलिस को भी उस इंफॉर्मेशन को शेयर करते हैं, और उससे प्राप्त हुए इंफॉर्मेशन से स्टेट पुलिस उनके अपने एक्टिविटीज को आगे बढ़ाते जाते हैं. अगर जब दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण तरीके से कुछ होती है दुर्घटना, उस समय सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट उसको इसमें कुछ रोल ही नहीं है ऐसे दूर होना, और सिर्फ स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर आरोप लगाना ठीक नहीं है, क्योंकि आईबी के कार्यक्रम में सीक्रेसी भी एक बहुत ही बड़ा अहम चीज होती है. और इस विषय में इशरत जहां के मामले में, जैसे आईबी को दुरुपयोग करते हुए अलफनामा, जब भी होम मिनिस्टर को बदलाव होती है, केंद्र सरकार करती है, उस समय अलफनामा भी बदलते हैं. जैसे जब एलईटी ही खुद उनके वेबसाइट में इशरत को माना एक फिदाइन है, और 3 साल के बाद वो उनके वेबसाइट से उस इंफॉर्मेशन को हटाते हैं. और जब 2010 में डेविड हेडली जो हमारी मुंबई के अटैक के ब्रेन थे और पीछे के कमांडेंट थे, वो अमेरिका में मानते हैं कि इशरत जरूर एक फिदाइन थी, फिर भी हमारे एनआईए नेशनल इन्वेस्टिगेटिव एजेंसी उसको उस मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स को नकारते आए. इसीलिए हम मानते हैं, और अभी इशरत जहां के विषय में सीबीआई की इंक्वायरी चल रही है, और उस सीबीआई के इंक्वायरी में आप समझ लीजिए सीबीआई की इंस्पेक्टर आईबी के विषयों को शेयर करना, इंटेलिजेंस और सीक्रेटिव तरीके से जो आईबी काम करती है, उन सब का खुलासा लेंगे. ठीक है, लेना और उसके ऊपर कामकाज करना, मगर उससे हमारे नेशनल सिक्योरिटी को ऐसे क्रिटिसिज्म इनडिस्क्रिमिनेट तरीके से कब कुछ सेक्शंस में हो सकती है जो खतरनाक निकलने का पॉसिबिलिटीज है. इसके खिलाफ हम कांग्रेस को वार्निंग और कॉशन दे रहे हैं कि आपके पॉलिटिकल उपलब्धियों के लिए आईबी को दुरुपयोग ना करें. ये पहले बार नहीं है कांग्रेस आईबी को दुरुपयोग करना. इससे पहले फोन टैपिंग और पॉलिटिकल ओपोनेंट्स के ऊपर स्पाइंग करने में भी आपको मालूम है कि आईबी को कांग्रेस मिसयूज करते आए। दूसरा एक और विषय में जिक्र करना चाह रही हूं उधर, गुजरात NSUIA नेशनल स्टूडेंट्स यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया के छात्र लोग पूरे के पूरे the entire NSUI, nearly the entire NSUI has moved to the BJP. It is very particularly of interest for us because NSUI, particularly in Gujarat, had a great lot of margadarshan from the vice president of the party. And today if NSUI has moved to the BJP, we find it a very, very welcome decision by the young students of NSUIA, because we are glad to see that young minds are getting attracted to the BJP's ideology and the way in which good governance has dominated the BJP government in Gujarat. And it is a very good sign, and I think many young minds who are associated with NSUIA elsewhere too should reconsider as to where they should stand, because in the nation building, youth and their role is very important. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Rajiv.
I have one question. This IB has given an adverse report for the appointment of ex-Supreme Court Judge Mr. Cyril Joseph in NHRs. It is the same IB which has given an adverse report against the wishes of the government. How do you respond to it? Does it reflect the neutrality of IB?
Well, on every such activity of IB, I may not be able to comment. But very clearly, where there is IB's submission, if I can use that word for want of better words, for the demands of its political masters, may not be a healthy sign. About this particular comment, I'm glad to say even we have been saying the appointment is not very appropriate, and we have even dissented on that appointment. I'm talking about situations where IB submits to its political masters, and in that I'm holding the Congress responsible for misuse of IB. I'm not speaking about IB's professionalism.
आप पूछिए। हाँ,
आज केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री सुशील कुमार शिंदे छत्तीसगढ़ के दौरे पे गए हैं। घटना के छठे दिन वो गए हैं। घटना नहीं थोड़ा देर हो गया आपको?
Bilkul, we have been saying this, that the answers or explanations given by the Union Home Minister yesterday during a press briefing do not convince us. And at a time when the country needed him most to stand and to lead from the front, the approach of this country towards the issue of Naxals, he was unfortunately absent. We have made a comment on this.
अखिलेश जी।
Ma'am, is it your apprehension that CBI will not only summon Narendra Modi and Amit Shah and Mr. Shah and his documents, but also at some point of time they may actually go and arrest them?
Well, as regards CBI misuse, we have a lot of apprehensions. But what it will eventually turn out to be, we do not want to speculate. We certainly believe that the CBI has been so repeatedly misused, and targeting political opponents has been the clear outcome of many of these misuses. So we certainly are speaking about CBI misuse, but in this case I'm highlighting issues related to national security and the misuse of IB, particularly in terms of the way in which the affidavits have been doing a lot of flip-flops.
Yeah, Mr. Ravish Tiwari.
Prime Minister on the way back has said that one of his regrets of last 9 years is the obstruction by the opposition. For that, they suggested, he seemed to suggest that it's because the animosity from the BJP which arises from its disappointment over the fact that it lost in 2004 and it lost again in 2009.
The Prime Minister has tried probably blending a lot of things in his answer. As regards BJP disappointment, I do not even want to comment. I would rather have the Prime Minister talk about why he has failed to function even after having the mandate given to him. 2004 he had the mandate, 2009 he has had the mandate given to him. Leave pointing a finger about BJP being disappointed. You've got the mandate. Tell us what is your record. Tell us what is your performance, Mr. Prime Minister. You could stand firm when you wanted the nuclear deal to be signed. But after winning in 2009, Mr. Prime Minister, what happened to the 100-day promises that you gave? Within 100 days, Telangana. Within 100 days, food security bill. Within 100 days, women's reservation bill. More importantly, within 100 days, controlling the prices. We'll bring down the prices. Within 100 days, we'll tackle corruption. Within 100 days, we'll make sure the enough action is taken for black money and bringing back black money. Leave what the BJP feels, whether we are frustrated or not. You will see how the people are going to respond to you after this. But tell us, why not talk about your own performance, Mr. Prime Minister? Your 100 days list remains where it was in 2009. So no good, especially with hardly less than a year for you to correct course, to point out at the inefficiencies or deficiency of the opposition just shows that you have no answers to give to the country. And this from a Prime Minister who's a respected, very respected economist and whose credentials about probity in life is very high. Unfortunately, he's headed the most corrupt government which Free India has ever seen. And even on Colgate, we have not heard much. So I would rather, with respect, submit to the Prime Minister instead of analyzing what mind state the BJP is in. I think we are repeatedly proving that we asked most relevant questions to our Honorable Prime Minister. And Prime Minister he is of the entire country and not just those who voted for the Congress. So I would rather respectfully ask the Prime Minister to first speak of his 9 years' achievements than to speak about BJP's manasikta. It's a test for me every time. नहीं, प्राइम मिनिस्टर उनके वापसी के रास्ते में फ्लाइट से पत्रकार लोगों से बातचीत करते हुए भारतीय जनता पार्टी के ऑपोजिशन टैक्टिक्स के ऊपर जो रविश जी जिक्र कर रहे थे, ऐसे बातों कहे। मैं सिर्फ उनसे ये बात पूछना चाह रही हूं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी पार्लियामेंट में ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन कर रही है, ये कर रही है, वो कर रही है, उससे इतना मतलब ना रखें। 9 साल में उनके उपलब्धियां, उनके सरकार की उपलब्धियां क्या क्या है, उसके बारे में ज्यादा बात करना उचित होगा। और मैं उस विषय में सिर्फ 4 प्रश्न पूछना चाह रही हूं कि आपके 100 डेज के प्रॉमिसेस जो भी थे 2009 में, उसमें कितना आपने पूरा कर पाए? महंगाई कम हुआ है क्या? करप्शन कम हुआ है क्या? काला धन वापस ले आने के लिए कोशिश हुआ है क्या? महिला रिजर्वेशन बिल आ गया, एक्ट हो गया है क्या? और फूड सिक्योरिटी बिल के बारे में इतना जल्दबाज से बात करने वाले कांग्रेस अभी वो भी 100 डेज के प्रॉमिस में ही एक विषय है, उसको ले आए क्या? इसीलिए मैं सिर्फ 5 मुद्दे आपके सामने रखी। उन 5 विषयों में अगर प्राइम मिनिस्टर, जिसके ऊपर सबका, इस देश का बहुत ही रिस्पेक्ट है, बात करें तो वो अच्छा होगा। और ऊपर से मैं और एक ही लाइन ऐड करूंगी कि भारत सरकार, भारत देश में, स्वतंत्र भारत में अब तक की मैक्सिमम घोटाले करने वाले सरकार के मुखिया है वो, उसके बारे में भी बात करें। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के मानसिकता के ऊपर रिसर्च नहीं चाहिए। धन्यवाद। पहले उसके ऊपर कुछ कदम उठा रहे हैं क्या सरकार, वो बात स्पष्ट होने दीजिए, उसके बाद भारतीय जनता पार्टी का रवैया हम बोलेंगे। और वो भी इस सरकार जो उन्हीं के एडवाइसेस द्वारा बोला गया स्टेटमेंट से मैं आधार रखते हुए बात कर रही हूं। सिर्फ ग्रोथ और ग्रोथ के ऊपर ध्यान रखने वाले सरकार पिछले 10 साल में क्यों इतना कम ग्रोथ आ रही है, उसका जवाब भी देना जरूरत है।
मिस्टर हरीश लखेड़ा।
सॉरी, हाँ, क्या बोल रहे हैं?
नक्सल को लेकर कोई क्या?
हाँ, इतना बड़ा दुर्घटना हुई है, जरूर राष्ट्रीय कार्यकारिणी में उसके ऊपर चर्चा होगी.
शशि शेखर,
Somebody-
GDP has lowered down to 4.8%, and it worked in the lowest in the last 10 years, last decade. So, number two, Ajit Jogi, who has been blamed by several BJP leaders, at least two of them, Nitin Singh Tomar and Mr. Anand Kumar. So, he has threatened measures against them. What do you say about this?
First thing about the growth, I did tell you that using the words of their own advisors, I would like to ask, a government which was so obsessed with growth and growth driven economics and political economy, growth is necessary, we also place priority on it, no doubt, but so focused was this Congress government on growth and growth alone. And the allegations now are that in their obsession with growth, they've even forgotten poor people, minimum wages, and so on. Let the government tell us now why even that one obsession of this government has failed. It is for the Congress to explain. They don't explain on corruption. They don't explain on Mengai. They don't explain on why so many scandals have come out of this government. But at least on this one obsession that they followed, growth, tell us why you're tanking.
हाँ,
Yes. It's important that we know that on the Chhattisgarh Naxal attack, a lot of theories are floating around. On an issue like Naxals and their attack, the doublespeak of the Congress has been repeatedly heard. They support, they deal gently, they even give positions of power for people who are the overhead legitimizers and supporters of Naxals who are underground. But on the other, when unfortunately we condemn it, we really have stood by to say that this attack is heinous and barbaric. But with that said, at a time when all of us will have to stand together, the Congress rumor mills are fully busy about conspiracy theories. All over Chhattisgarh, wherever you go, you have people speaking about it as though it's daily gossip in this kind of a very, very tragic circumstances. And, sorry, just 1 minute. And instead of answering as to many of the questions which have been raised by one of their MLAs going away on a ready available motorbike, one of the MLA doesn't even bring his PSO along. And for that matter, Mr. Jogi himself took the helicopter and went away, not being along with the convoy. There are questions which Mr. Jogi may want to answer rather than threaten the government, which is now standing by everybody, having an all-party meeting in which they don't even attend, to speak about conspiracy and accuse the Congress and BJP, and even worse, to say that they would go for a defamation at this time. I would rather have him please go and face and stand at the commission and give all his grievances to the judicial inquiry which is going on with the sitting judge. A constructive approach would do all of us a lot of good, particularly on this matter.
yeah. Radhika ji will come to you. Radhika ji.
I have not dealt with it lightly at all, Radhika. I may not be able to give the answer, the kind of answer you want, but I am also raising the issue as to why in Chhattisgarh the environment now is full of questions for which the Congress and its leadership also may have to answer. Therefore, to divert attention by saying, I will go for a defamation case, does not do anyone any good. The entire conspiracy theory has come out of the Congress's households. We have from the beginning not walked into the trap of Congress, by standing up and saying at this time all of us will have to be together to defeat the entire activities of the Naxalites. At this time, generate the gossip, spread the rumor, spread conspiracy theories, and also then to tell your own leadership has spoken and therefore we'll take you to court, leaves me astonished that responsible political parties, leaders at the state level have even all the while kept quiet when these theories were floating, but suddenly they think when BJP asks them the question, they want to say we'll go for defamation. It doesn't work that way. Well, we've been saying on the cash transfer that first of all, for the existing schemes, where many states themselves are also giving cash transfers, the union government has on 26 items decided to give cash transfer. But the one which you're referring to is for LPG. As it is, one has not even cleared the earlier mess that they've created on the LPG subsidy. Subsidy in terms of limited number of cylinders, only 6 in a year, which was later increased to 9. We do not even know whether that was implemented. They've gone into some other scheme. The central government is not trying to rationalize systems or improve performance and give the subsidy where it actually is due. They are only confusing in their hurry to win votes on every count. They are not contributing to simplifying systems. And this is one classic example of that.
Yeah, Mr. Tiwari, last question.
Sorry? We have spoken about cash transfers for all kinds of schemes, and on LPG and fuel, our position has also been explained as aside from this cash transfer issue. On the rationalization of oil, fuel pricing, we have been saying what the BJP's approach has been. And therefore here, by bringing these two situations together, I may not be able to give you an answer what on this specific. I think these two are very grave and serious issues on which there should be complete discussion, which the government has not done at all.
By not depicting these conspiracy theories, is it not that the BJP is also creating conspiracy theories indirectly?
Not at all. BJP is in the government. It is a BJP government there. It is the responsibility of the government to make sure the truth of the whole matter comes out. So it will not be good for us to join in with the Congress to say this or that. We'd rather have the Judicial Commission go into in great detail about all this and come out with the facts. And I am not even engaging in this discussion of conspiracy because it's important for the Commission. We do not want to suggest or influence even indirectly the proceedings of the Commission.
Yeah, Mr. Tablin.
Sorry? They've asked very many questions about where Jogi was, why he took the helicopter. They've asked questions which the people of Chhattisgarh are also asking. As people's representatives, they're voicing those questions. So I think it will be fair for him to go and give his feelings to the Commission, or even if he chooses to, answer these questions.
Yeah,
Nothing
Mr.
more.
Tablin.
Prime Minister today also spoke on the IPL controversy. He said that politics should not be mixed with sports. What is the line of the BJP as far as...
Although the Prime Minister, let me add, probably which you have not chosen to add, said he will not comment on the IPL. So he has said that. You, I think, should also ask as to what his position is. We are, after all, sitting in the opposition.
Thank you. Thank you very much.